kind of how to knock out the competition under the guise of boxing so that we can all be successful in this market with all of the challenges that it may present. So I want to think about this, right? Think about yourself as a boxer in the ring as you're an agent in this market. Like boxers, the top agents are the ones that control the ring. So if you want to be the one who's winning the fight, you have to establish your territory with strategic market presence. Brittany, I think you have done a phenomenal job at this. You have gone above and beyond, and I know it's been a slow play, right? You put in the hard work and you did the right things for a long time. And for a while, maybe it felt like they weren't paying off, but you have really established yourself in your local market as the expert to go to. And it's exactly what this training is about. And so I just wanted to give you a shout out on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
But right, real estate, like boxing, you've got to perfect your timing. And so you've got to be able to strike when the opportunity presents itself. You've got to be ready. You've got to be able to dodge the punch and throw one back, right? Which means you've got to master the market cycles and what buyers and sellers are looking for on any given day, week, month, or year, right? We know the real estate industry is cyclical. There are often times in even just a single month span where 1 week it's absolutely dead and you can't get an offer on your listing to save your life. And the next week it feels like everybody is out there house shopping, right? And so you've got to have these strategic moves ready to play whenever the opportunity presents itself. You've got to be able to think quick, think on your feet, and be able to shift and guide your clients as the market moves. And so like we were just talking about with Brittany, right? You've got to be the dominant voice from the first round. As we all know, right, when agents talk to us and they say, hey, I want more business, I need more leads, I need more opportunities, it's because they're just kind of floating out there in the market, hoping that somebody calls them or an opportunity presents itself. But if you are the dominant voice in your marketplace, people are going to reach out to you because they know you, they like you, they respect you, and they trust you. And so really dive deep into the market insights. Again, the easy answer to when somebody asks you, hey, how's the market, is to say, oh, it's kind of crazy. Right? But are you taking time every single week in your business to study the market? What does it look like? What is it doing? How many listings have had price reductions? How many new listings are available? How many have gone under contract? Hard, cold stats are going to give you the insight that you can present to the market so that people know you know what you're talking about. A lot of us work in smaller communities. Some of us work in multiple communities, but make sure you have the statistics down for the market that's applicable to where you're trying to reach. Right? Clients don't know what they don't know until you tell them. And again, we talk about this often, but I think it's easy to get lost in our own expertise and to think, oh yeah, that's obvious, right? Everybody knows that because it's stuff that we think about and deal with and read every single day. But the general consumer does not know, even if they pretend to know a lot about real estate, they don't actually know. And so if you can be the expert that tells them, right, that's going to be able to leverage more opportunities for you. And one of the easiest ways to do this, and something, again, we talk about often, is knockout worthy marketing, right? Your clients are spending multiple hours every single day on social media. And we talk about it a lot. You've got to be posting good content. You've got to be posting valuable stuff. You've got to be posting video. But remember that attention spans are short. And so you need consistent, high quality, and fast hitting content to stay visible. Right? Make sure you have a plan in place so that you have regular touch points on different social media platforms. Deliver your content so that it's easily digestible, easy to understand, and that people can pick it up instantly, because as they're scrolling, you've got to make them stop, and you've got about less than 1 second to make that happen. And again, make sure it's hyper targeted. Don't just post generalized, here's your market update, because a lot of your right client base could be in a different community, and they're going to see that and think, oh, not applicable to me. Reagan doesn't know what she's talking about. But make sure if you're really hyper targeting a community or a neighborhood or somewhere that you want to work, your information, your content, everything that you're publishing is appropriate and applicable to that area. And sharpen your pitch, right? You've got to be really, really good and, again, really quick it being able to deliver your value. Again, I think this is probably going to hit home for a lot of us, but we're out here competing with agents who are willing to discount their commission very quickly. Anybody else come across that? Right? The easy thing to do is just go, oh, if I'm up against another agent, I'll just discount my commission. But ask yourself what makes you stand out, and then make sure you're able to deliver that in a quick elevator pitch. Right? Your generic claims, oh, I work hard for my clients. Right? Everybody's going to say that. And so maybe your value proposition is, hey, I've sold 47 homes in this neighborhood. Right? It's so much sharper and it has so much more impact. I provide great service. Right? Again, that should be the baseline. Everybody thinks in any consumer salesperson relationship, they expect great service. But what if you said something like, hey, my listings sell 15 days faster than the average listing in Baraboo? Right? That's great service. I know the market. Again, as a licensed agent, you should know the market. But right, further develop that. I maintain a network of 200 ready buyers. Maybe you don't actually have 200 buyers, but again, feel free to use your team stats or the office stats. I'm passionate about real estate. Again, all of these things are things you should do. Those are the easy kind of one-liners to throw out. But maybe you take a look at your listing price point accuracy and say, my price predictions have 98% accuracy, or my listings sell at 98% of what we listed them for. Again, so much more value in there, and such a quicker timeline to gain the trust of the people that you're trying to serve. And again, if we're back in the ring, right? How can you outwork the competition? Have a better follow-up plan. We're going to hound follow-up on almost every single training you'll ever hear me do, because that's how important it is. But create a follow-up plan that outworks and out-hustles and is more efficient and more effective than your competition. Personal connection within 5 minutes of a lead reaching out. Are you sending relevant market insights within 24 hours? Do you maintain weekly content with fresh information? Again, last week we talked about communication styles of buyers and what you're looking for and how you're setting that expectation on how often you're going to reach out to them, what information you're going to provide and when, and so that everybody's on the same page of how intertwined your relationship's going to be throughout the entire transaction. And then scale your personalization with technology. Again, use your tools like your CRM or Bold Trail to automate a lot of this, right? Your weekly content can be automated. Your market insights can be automated. You just have to set up the system ahead of time so that it works on your behalf. And then I read this in a Riz Media article too. When we talk about outworking the competition, I think we do ourselves a disservice on how hard we actually work. And so I want you to start tracking and documenting your daily work. How many calls are you making? How many appointments? What hours are you working? The tasks that you handle for each client? All of the little things that go on behind the scenes that we think our clients know we're doing, but they most likely don't. And then share that summary in your buyer presentations or your listing presentations to show the full value of your effort behind the scenes. We're currently in a societal, state where I think there's a lot of devaluing of real estate agents happening. I saw a post on Facebook the other day that was from some random guy who said, I just went on ChatGPT and I asked it to find me all the available houses in my neighborhood and what price points that should be at and blah, 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 blah. And I did all of this in 5 minutes. And I don't ever need to use a realtor again. Right? But AI has never walked through that house. AI doesn't know the age of the furnace or why they have a price reduction or the last time it sold or why the sellers are moving. Right? These are all the little things that we figure out behind the scenes that our clients don't actually know. And so as you're building your value prop, have all of these statistics of how hard you're working, how many hours you're putting in, all the tiny little things you're doing behind the scenes to make sure that your clients are set up for success. Show them your work, right? You guys are already you're putting in the hours, you're putting in the effort. Use it to your advantage. Make sure people know what you're doing and how hard you're working for them. And set the bar high, right? The bar is very, very low in our industry. I talk about it often. You can get a license with a 72-hour video course and passing a test. I think the bar to being a licensed agent is far too low. And so you have an opportunity here to set the bar high for yourself, right? Deliver the knowledge that's at a higher level than everybody else is, right? Your market reports, your market expertise, go above and beyond just pulling a report from the MLS. What does your guidance look like? What are you doing to hold the hands of your buyers or sellers throughout the entire process? Have it be so clear that they feel completely reassured that they made the right choice in hiring you as their agent. And then exceed their expectations. We talk again a lot about setting the expectation, making sure everybody's on the same page, but take that expectation and go one step above, right? Deliver your exceptional value every single time you interact with your clients. Every piece of advice you give them, take that 1% more and exceed their expectations. It's not hard to do, again, because the bar is low. And so I am fully confident in all of you guys and your ability to be the professional, to be the market expert that I know you can be. And those things are going to lead to more opportunities. Negotiation is another huge one, right? Something, again, we talk about often, but are you negotiating like a champion? Are you in control of the negotiation environment from the start? And do you understand what your client's parameters are early on? Right? As you go into an inspection, before the inspector even enters the house, do you have that conversation with your clients? Hey, what are things that are really, really important to you? I've gotten inspection reports back that have a laundry list of electrical stuff and plumbing stuff. And I think, oh my God, this is a deal breaker. My clients are going to walk. Only to find out that they have two brothers, one's an electrician and one's a plumber. Doesn't even matter to them, right? But something like a radon system was a deal breaker. And so we were able to negotiate that favorably to everybody because we knew what the terms were that my clients were looking for. Are you using the market knowledge to justify your position, right? How does this house compare to a house that just sold, not only in bedrooms and bathrooms and square footage, but in updates and mechanicals? How new is the roof, right? We know these things cost money. And so are you able to reasonably make those adjustments based on market data with the information that you've gotten back? How are you building your relationships, right? Frame your negotiations as collaborative victories. We know in real estate, sometimes it feels like it's an us versus them battle. But if you can all work together and figure out what's important to the buyers, what's important to the sellers, and collaborate together, you can create these win-win scenarios. And make your style memorable, right? When your clients get to the closing table and 5 years down the road, you want them to remember, hey, that was really awesome how Amy negotiated on our behalf. She really advocated for our best interest. She knew what was important to us, and she made sure that we got it, right? Make it memorable because every single deal builds your reputation. And reputation leads to word of mouth, which obviously leads to more repeat and referral business. Again, just building more opportunities for yourself. Back to the boxing analogy, are you able to adapt mid-match, right? If you get hit with a punch, are you able to figure out what you need to do next, what your next move is, right? If the objection is, hey, your commission's too high, the weak response is, I'll just reduce it, right? But a championship mindset response says, hey, I understand that might be the perception, but let me show you what my fee delivers. Maybe your objection is we want to list higher. We think our house is worth more. The easy option for most agents is to go, yeah, I'll list your house at whatever you want as long as I get the listing. The championship response is, hey, I understand that and I can appreciate that, but here's what happens at that price point. Again, using the market data to support your expertise and show them that, hey, houses listed at this price point have been on the market X amount of days and have seen X amount of price reductions. Conversely, if we listed the price that I recommend, we could often see multiple offers, a bidding war, and a higher purchase price in a shorter amount of time, right? Using that data to be the champion. Maybe the objection is another agent's cheaper. It's easy to go, well, I'll match their offer. Oh, they're only charging 2%, I'll charge 2%. A champion would say, cheaper rarely means better, right? You get what you pay for. Does that other cheaper agent offer the same value that I do? Do they offer the same expertise? Do they have the same amount of experience that I have in this neighborhood or in this community? Adapt to objections the best that you can. It's really, really easy to take the weak response or take the easy way out. But I promise you, your value is going to go so much further if you can give them that champion's response. Because you're going to build that reputation, right? You're going to be the agent that everybody's talking about because you're knowledgeable, you're experienced, you negotiate well, you provide value and success for your clients. And so as you're building this reputation around the success that you've had, how are you incentivizing reviews? Preaching to the choir here a little bit, I could be way better about that. But do you have a system in place that makes leaving reviews for you easy? Right? Are you following up after closing, asking them what their experience was like? Are you capturing testimonials? Right? Grab a quick video. Do this at your final walkthrough. Do it a week before closing. Do it a week after closing. I don't care when you do it, but ask them to record a quick video about what it was like working with you. And then share those success stories, right? This is great, easy, quick, digestible content for social media, but post your victories. Show exactly how you were able to get your clients from start to finish successfully. I have clients right now, sweet, sweet, sweet young couple. They were pre-approved up to 190,000. Which if anybody is working with buyers in that price range right now, you know how difficult it can be. We found them a delayed listing, wrote a sight unseen offer, and got them it accepted. I'm going to share that because it was a successful way to find harder buyers in a tight inventory market, a house that they're in love with now and ready to buy. So share that, build on it, build that reputation that you know what you're doing and you know how to get people exactly where they want to go on their real estate journey. And last but not least, practice good sportsmanship. How many of you guys have worked with an agent on the other side who was an absolute nightmare and you want to refuse to ever work with them again?
It happens.
I know Brittany and I have a shared story on an agent. But successful agents don't only serve their clients, they work well with other professionals in the transaction. This is part about building your brand and building your reputation that maybe you're going to end up in a multiple offer situation and the listing agent's going to say, hey, Lisa's really awesome to work with. I've done it before. She's a great collaborator. She's really good with her clients. This is going to be an easier transaction because I know Lisa's a great agent. Successful real estate transactions require cooperation, and the better you can have relationships with other agents, the better it's going to be for everybody. The second one, I think, is something that we all come across often as well, but maintaining neutrality, right? You don't own the client, you don't own your seller, you don't own your buyer. You're there to communicate information, present their options, and help both sides make informed decisions. Again, how many of you guys have worked with an agent who you think, man, this agent is going to ruin the deal for their client because they're so hard to work with? And you can tell that the agent is negotiating so that they get a paycheck, not so that their client gets a house. Anybody been in there?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Again, the more neutral you can be as a party, the better, not only for the collaborating agent, but for all the clients in the transaction. Again, you're there to present their options, to negotiate on their best behalf. That is our ethical duty as a licensed agent. And so remain neutral. Be the calm, steady force, because both buyer and seller, right, they're going through a big life transition. And so be the calm presence that makes them understand everything's going to work out. And that requires, right, staying professional under pressure. It's easy to want to pick up the phone, call the other agent, and just tell them exactly how you feel. But the buyer and the seller, right, they're in that emotional situation. And so your role is to be the expert, to be the professional that they hired you to be, so that they can be emotional, they can be crazy, right? You're the one guiding the ship. They're just your passengers. And at the end of the day, right, we can't control the other agent's behaviors, but you can control your response, right? And so maybe you're on the receiving end of an angry agent phone call. How you react to that says way more about who you are as an agent and a professional than it does about them. And so if you can maintain this cooperative, solution-focused approach, right, more of your transactions are going to hit the end of the road. And that's our ultimate goal. So we did it, right? We won the match. We got to the closing table. What does your process for closing look like, right? You just won, everybody's celebrating, everybody's happy, you're at the closing table. What do you give for closing gifts? Riley and Nancy and I talk about this often, but what's an appropriate closing gift that's memorable that your clients are going to remember you by? Do you have any unexpected surprises for your clients at closing? Maybe it's arranging moving help. Are you giving them instruction on how to set up their utilities? Are you getting the house cleaned prior to them moving in? Right? These last minute touches are what's going to leave a long-term impression. And then how are you celebrating your clients? Again, we're looking for quick, impactful social media content. Are you sharing pictures on your social media when you close a house? Maybe it's a video of them getting the keys or opening the front door for the first time. Again, make sure you have permission for this, but use your success to generate more opportunities. So even after the match is done, right? We know we ideally want to close more than one deal in a single year. So you've got to keep fighting. You've got to improve your skill. You've got to have your action plans in place. You've got to get back in the gym, figure out what went well, what didn't go well, and improve on it. And so I'm going to challenge you guys today. Are you spending 5 hours dedicating time to improving your skill? All of you guys on the call today, this is step one. I appreciate you guys showing up every Tuesday, being committed to your education, being committed to getting better, to learning more, to picking up one more thing you can add to your business or to your arsenal. But are you committing time to education? Right, the old saying is those who learn more earn more. And so make sure you have a plan in place of how you're pushing yourself, stepping outside your comfort zone and improving your skills. We talked about sharpening your pitch, right? Make sure you have a couple mock scripts for these things, the main objections that you hear and how you plan to respond to them. Practice those with an accountability partner or somebody on your team. I want you to implement 3 strategies from this training that you're going to go out and do. And commit yourself to being a market leader with a champion mindset. I know there's tons of competition out there. I really do think the amount of licensed agents is going to significantly drop in the next probably 12 to 18 months. And so now's your opportunity to be that expert, to be the champion, and to be the one out there getting business and successfully closing deals when the opportunities present themselves. That's what I got for you today. Anybody want a box?
That's awesome, Reagan. Thank you. Can I just throw a little tidbit in there when you're talking about closing gifts, just because I'm really proud of this one, because I don't usually get that creative, but think outside the box. I sold a house to a family with a little boy, and he was so excited because 4 houses over, there was a soccer net, and he wondered if he could be their friend and if he could use their soccer net. So I ordered them a really nice soccer net for their backyard. So it wasn't directly for the parents, but it was for their family. And I shipped it to their house, and I can't wait to see how they like it. But that was something I was proud of because it was just thinking outside the box.
Yeah, that's great. And that goes back to our training in the last few weeks on active listening to your clients, building a relationship with them so you know them as people and not just a transaction, and then appropriately giving them a closing gift. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks, Reagan. Have a wonderful birthday. And thanks for doing training on your birthday. I'll try to let you win at golf.
Ooh, you got new shoes, so it's going to be tough. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great week, and let me know if you need anything.
Thank you.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Bye.